Welcome to Whispers of the Web, where the hidden gems of the web come to life. Join us as we unravel the most fascinating tales, secrets, and discussions from across the web. Every whisper has a story. If you enjoy our journey through the whispers of the web, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the intrigue. Story number 1. I messed up my own life by dropping out of high school. I wish I could restart and do things correctly. My 17-year-old self didn't understand that high school has an age limit. I'm not even sure if this is the right place for this. I know no one cares. That's part of the reason why I failed. There was very little encouragement at home. But if I'm being honest, I just gave up because the assignments were too difficult for me. I was a loner in school. I'm not sure what I want people to tell me. Just be glad you're not me, I guess. Thanks for reading this sob story. It's been on my mind for some time. Your situation reminds me of my dad. He dropped out of high school and only got his GED when he was in his 40s. It was a big step for him, and it changed his perspective on what he could achieve. It's never too late to pursue education or to take steps toward the life you want. My dad is a testament to that. It's okay that high school wasn't the right path for you at the time. Everyone's journey is unique. There are alternative education options like community college courses, vocational training, or online learning that might suit your learning style better. And if you ever decide to pursue your GED, it can open new doors for you, just like it did for my dad. Keep moving forward, one step at a time. Your story doesn't end here, and there are still many chapters left for you to write. Story number 2. I broke my leg at work trying to throw up in the grass instead of on the sidewalk. So, I work in the ER. I had been feeling pretty nauseous that morning on my way to work, but had no other symptoms, so I just figured it was just from reflux or something. I have a horrible time with it sometimes. When I got there, it was pouring rain. I was walking in and then it hit me. I'm going to puke. I didn't want to throw up on the sidewalk because that would be super embarrassing, so I ran to the grass. I stepped on the grass and felt my leg snap, and that's all I remember because then I passed out. My coworker, who was also coming in, was like, "What are you doing? Are you okay?" I was like, "I think I threw up on myself." If I even threw up, I might not have gotten that far. I think I hurt my ankle. So more of my coworkers came out to put me in a wheelchair, and I had to explain how this happened to the attending, who is also my coworker. I broke my tibia, fibula, dislocated my ankle, and ruptured a ligament, because I didn't want to be embarrassed by vomiting on the sidewalk. I tell all my friends and family I just slipped in the rain though. Best believe though, next time I'll just puke on the sidewalk. Oh, and I never did throw up. I guess snapping my leg in the process resolved that issue. I know you went or are going through a rough time with such a serious break, but I honestly had a good laugh at this one. I've broken bones 3 times and each time was really dumb, so I understand hiding the real reason to ease the embarrassment. I hope you are healing well and are able to laugh at this one day soon rather than feeling the embarrassment. Story number 3. I might have started a very large rat infestation in my neighborhood. For context, a few months ago, me and my dad went to visit my grandma who lives on the other side of the city. While I was snooping around my grandma's storage room, I saw these rain boots and for whatever reason I decided to ask my grandma if I could have them. Now when I got the boots, nothing seemed off. I thought they looked quite normal and clean looking on the outside, so I didn't bother trying them on. When we got home, that's when I found out how wrong I was. Thank God I didn't put the boots on. My dad did. He felt something squishy and disgusting on his feet, so he dumped the contents of the boots, and then we saw there were baby rats or mice. Sorry, English isn't my first language, inside each boot. I'm not talking like 2 or 3 baby rats. There were a lot, maybe like 40 or 50 in total. They looked like they had just been born. It was so horrifying and nasty. Some freaking rat had turned it into a nest of sorts. My dad immediately thought about killing the rats and getting rid of them, but I couldn't do it. No matter how disgusting they were, I still felt bad for them. Their mother was probably frantically looking for them, but my dad insisted. Of course I did not listen, and I decided to dump the mice on the shallow part of the neighborhood's canal system, hoping they would survive. I told my dad I had dumped them into the canal to drown them, but I lied. Now I forgot about this entire incident, and I have even worn the boots on several occasions. But recently, I noticed a few rats scurrying around the neighborhood. These rats were huge. Not New York City levels, but still pretty huge. They were as big as kittens. I thought nothing of it, but then I heard several neighbors complaining how there were rats inside their homes, and that's when I connected the dots and realized those rats might have been the same ones I dumped a month ago. And that's pretty much it. I live in a nicer area, so our neighborhood was pretty clean up until those rats started scurrying around the streets, in the garbage, and in people's houses. Even our house was no exception. My mom screamed in the early hours of the morning, and that's when I knew they had invaded our house as well. People were getting mad and complaining, and I am horrified. The local government unit has already become involved, and I think this is becoming a very big issue. The rats are everywhere now. I seem to be the only one who has realized, as my dad seems to be oblivious, and I plan to keep it that way. I know it might sound like nothing to you all, but every time I hear a scream in our neighborhood, I do feel a little bad. I seem to have made things just a little harder for everyone living here. Edit. I'm sorry I may have given the impression I was a disgusting person for keeping the boots. I grew up in a household where the furniture would be rearranged every Sunday just to make sure every spot would be clean. Back then I just thought it was such a waste to throw them away when they were still usable. I did deep clean them. I used a crap ton of cleaning agents to make sure those boots were not nasty anymore before I even put them on my feet. But yes, I should still have gotten rid of them. This is a really rough situation. Mice and rats are difficult to get rid of, and if the whole neighborhood is infested, then it really is a serious issue. I understand your stress and am honestly surprised your dad hasn't figured it out yet. I don't have much advice. You're young, so I'm not sure what you can do to help, and thankfully there should be enough complaining going on that the neighborhood does something to help soon. Being compassionate to animals is very noble, and if your dad wanted them dead, he should have done it himself, not asked his compassionate kid to kill over 40 rats. It's not your fault, I blame your dad. Story number 4. I threw a drink through a lady's open car window. I, 28 female, was around 19 and leaving my work. This woman was driving recklessly, weaving off of the road to get around people and then stopping in front of them, and proceeded to run me off of the road. When I got back on the road behind her, she kept slowing down and acting like she was moving off of the road so that when I tried to pass her, she would try to hit my car. The one lane then split into two, a straight lane and a right-hand turning lane. I decided to go straight. No one was behind me, and the person in front of her was taking forever to turn. I'm assuming they didn't realize the light was green. My windows were down, and so was her driver's side window. I chucked my fountain drink from my lunch break through her window and went straight. For context, I'm usually a very patient person, to the point where someone could be a straight-up a-hole to me, and I'll think to myself, are they okay? They must be having a bad day. And I'll let it go. But something in me that day just was not having it. I know what I did was wrong, believe me. As I was driving off, I immediately thought, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. I'm not saying what she did was right either. I mean, it's not like she was weaving around people because of an emergency if she had time to sit there and screw with people. Right. I don't know. It's been something I've been going back and forth on in my mind whenever I happen to think about it. While this is something I would never do to someone, or at least I hope I never would, I find it satisfying in a silly, petty kind of way. What do you guys think? Did this story make you chuckle, or did she go too far? Story number 5. I steal from big chain stores a lot, probably 3 to 4 times a week. It's getting bad. I, 26 female, live alone in a small city in northern Ontario, Canada. Things are expensive, inflation is at large. I work 2 jobs and sometimes can't always afford to buy food for myself. So about 3 years ago, I decided to try my hand at stealing. Turns out, I'm scary good at it. I do not steal from local boutiques or anything like that, just mostly grocery stores. Sometimes Walmart. I've gone in and paid $40 for a grocery bill that should have been well over $100. The main grocery store in my city, there are 2, got self-checkout and their doors don't have the beepers or detectors by the exit. Ever since then it's gotten progressively worse. I've used the same strategy for many years and have never gotten caught, and I've stolen tons in that time frame. From big packs of chicken, to steaks, to other foods, to clothes, to household items, to necessities like toilet paper, Kleenex. I've tried to chill out on doing it so often, but I literally can't help it. There are times when I have $7 to last me 2 weeks. No one can live on that. Sometimes if I don't steal, I don't eat. The reality of struggling to afford essentials like food and necessities is a difficult one, and it's unfortunate that you've found yourself in this position. My family is also struggling to regularly afford food, so I understand your pain. Perhaps there are other options you can look into for help, like food banks or other charity organizations, to assist you in not only feeding yourself but in your shoplifting tendencies. Thank you for joining us for today's journey through the whispers of the web. Share your thoughts and suggestions for our next adventure. If you're not yet a part of our whispering community, click the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications to never miss out on another story. Join us next time as we uncover another enthralling tale from the web. Until our next whisper.